Allahu Akbar. Just a few hours ago, not days ago, not something buried in history books. A few hours ago, the sky over the Middle East lit up again. Bright flashes, loud explosions, sirens cutting through the night. And once more, millions of people stopped what they were doing and held their breath. The United States and Israel carried out a direct military strike on Iranian territory. This wasn't a proxy fight. It wasn't a secret operation hidden in shadows. It was open, direct, state against state. And like almost every modern conflict, the first thing to fall wasn't just infrastructure, it was human safety. The strikes were fast and precise. Military bases, defense systems, logistical centers, those were the intended targets. From Washington and Tel Aviv, the explanation came quickly. This was deterrence. This was about security. This was necessary. But war never looks as clean on the ground as it sounds in a press briefing. Explosions don't care about political language. Missiles don't check whether a building is mentioned in a statement. In parts of Iran, ordinary neighborhoods felt the shockwaves. Windows shattered, homes trembled. Parents woke their children in panic. And in moments like that, the line between military target and civilian impact becomes painfully thin. One thing is important to understand. Iran did not fire for this specific exchange. The initial strike came from outside its borders. In international law, who strikes first matters. A country that is attacked has the right to respond. And Iran responded, quickly and forcefully. Ballistic missiles, drones, a wave designed not just to send a message, but to overwhelm. Some people wondered how Iran could launch so much at once. The answer isn't sudden magic. Years of sanctions pushed Iran to invest heavily in domestic weapons production. They built their own systems, stockpiled, planned. What happened wasn't spontaneous. It was the result of long preparation. From Iran's point of view, this was retaliation, not aggression. Soon, the skies above Israel were filled with interceptions. Air defense systems activated. Missiles were shot down. Drones tracked mid-air. Sirens echoed through cities. Families ran to shelters. Daily life paused. Defense systems are advanced, some of the most advanced in the world, but no system is perfect. Every missile that slips through carries risk. Every interception that fails carries consequences. War is never clean, no matter how modern the technology. Now let's step away from the battlefield for a moment and look at the legal side. The United Nations Charter generally forbids the use of force between countries except in two situations: self-defense against an actual or imminent attack, or authorization from the UN Security Council. There was no UN mandate here. The justification used was the concept of a preemptive strike, acting before a threat fully materializes. But this idea is deeply debated. Many legal experts argue that a potential future threat does not automatically justify present-day bombing. That's why the legality of such actions becomes controversial and contested. Yet beyond legal arguments and strategic debates, there is something more important. People. Children asleep in their beds. Elderly citizens with nowhere to run. Families who never voted for war and never wanted to be part of it. International humanitarian law is very clear. Civilians must be protected, no matter who claims to be right, no matter who says they are defending themselves. When schools are damaged, when hospitals are disrupted, when electricity and water systems fail, it's not a victory. It's a humanitarian tragedy. There's also another uncomfortable question people around the world quietly ask. Are the rules applied equally? When one country launches a strike, it is called aggression. When another does, it is called deterrence. These double standards create mistrust. And when trust in international law fades, the global system itself weakens. If this escalation continues, the consequences will not stay local. Energy markets will shake, economies will feel pressure, alliances will be tested. And once again, it won't be leaders sitting safely in offices who suffer most. It will be ordinary people. History has shown something again and again. Wars may begin with force, but they rarely end because of it. Eventually, even the fiercest conflicts return to negotiation tables. Diplomacy may look weak in the middle of explosions, but in the long run, it is usually the only exit. So this is the moment to pause. Not to blindly support one side, not to blindly condemn the other, but to ask difficult questions. Is real security built through strikes? Does preventing violence require more violence? And what responsibility do we have when civilians become the cost? If you've watched this far, it means you care about more than headlines. Support this channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing, so thoughtful and humanitarian discussions can continue to exist in a space often dominated by noise. This is not propaganda, it is not hate, it is not justification for harm. It is an attempt to look at events critically and humanely. We may disagree. That's normal. But one principle should never be negotiable. Human life must come first.